but you feel like there's a wrangle between yourself and your mother. Now, facts about family business or family involvement in business. Now, the reason as to why we do have quite a number of family businesses not succeeding is because there is a lack of a prenup agreement. Now, a prenup agreement is actually a legal agreement or a legal document that stipulates the role of every single family member and their contribution to that particular business. Now, the lines and rules are stipulated and they're drawn, and everyone sticks to that. Now, there are also provisions on what then happens to the profits or the use of the resources of that particular business. Now, research goes a step further to tell us that 88% of current family-owned businesses think that they will live to see, the businesses will live to see the 5th generation. But the truth is 30% of these businesses actually don't get to the 2nd generation, and only 12% do make it to the 3rd generation. So getting the foundation right is paramount, people, is paramount. And when I'm talking about the foundations, is that you need to at least get a prenup document, a prenuptial document, and this is how we call it in business, or what you commonly know it as a business agreement or a partnership agreement. I know many people think that but Mala, it's family, but Mala, it's my brother, but Mala, it's my mother. Why should I go a step further to make sure everything is legal? It's very important. Now, the reason as to why, Wafula, you got into this particular how will I put it, somewhat a crisis, is because you just got into an implied contract with your mother. Now, she is your mother. You are a student in Chambogo University, so you cannot be in Busia every day. So you choose to buy these birds, you created infrastructure for these birds, and you let these birds, actually you just bought them and went and dumped them at mama's shamba, for example, or land, and you maybe just assume that mama will take care of these birds, will ensure that these birds actually multiply and they're healthy, and will take care of them. And mind you, this is her land. So I'm sure that you got into this position whereby now mama feels like, I am investing so much in this, my son's business, and so when this chicken hatches, I'm entitled to selling it to get a buck or two. Or if we have extra eggs, for example, in the infrastructure, or in the with this particular chicken, I'm entitled to sell some eggs to get a buck or two. You did not set expectations. For starters, the foundation is very critical, especially when you have family being involved in your business, or it's a family owned or run business. All right, so setting the foundation right. If you don't want to go all the way and make that legal agreement or that legal document, then how about you just have a sit down whereby expectations are articulated. Now, all the parties get to articulate their expectations. Now, for example, in your case, you get to tell your mommy, these are my expectations. As much as these birds are in your land, as much as you're going to be taking care of them, I expect you to do 1, 2, 3. And mama will also in return tell you, I expect you to do 1, 2, 3 as my son. Now, options are 2. All right, we have Denimas, your options are 2. Or Wafula, your options are 2. Now, for you to sort out this particular dilemma, number 1, you could choose to start on a clean slate. Starting on a clean slate demands that you get to that point where you reconcile with your mother. It's important. I heard your question, and it seems like you're still angry at your mother. You need to reconcile with your mother, not for anything, but for honor purposes. She is no one else but your mother. So reconcile. Get to have honest and candid conversations. Maybe you could be misjudging her. Maybe you don't understand the circumstances she was in for her to sell your birds or to sell the eggs. So get to have candid conversations with mother. Maybe take time out from university, maybe when you're on recess, and get to Busia. Get to have a conversation with her. Get to understand her side of the story, and also get her to understand your side of the story. your main mission should be to try as much as possible to right all the wrongs that have been done. Now, the other thing is lay down expectations, and I'm talking about starting on a clean slate, whereby you don't close off this business. You've told me that you are actually thinking of just making the last investment, and then the profits that are going to come out of there by December, you're going to top up and start off another business, like pretty much closing down the birds business. So what I'm saying is you can start on a clean slate where you don't close off that particular business, but you continue with it. So lay down expectations. If you still want this business to be at mama's land and have mama take care of this particular business, lay down expectations. It's going to be an implied pretty much agreement or a contract whereby you're not documenting anything, but where she gets to understand that these are your expectations, and you also get to understand that these are her expectations. Now, the other important thing is, as you're discussing the expectations, you need to get down to agreeing on a rewarding system or an ownership agreement. That's the only way that mama will not sell off your birds or your eggs. All right, so maybe you can choose to maybe per month send her X amount of money for her upkeep or for her use, or you get to an agreement whereby the profits that come out of that particular business get to be split. Maybe you can decide on, since you're the greatest investor in this, maybe you can decide to have a 60-40 ownership, whereby you're going to get 60% of the profits and mama gets 40%. It depends on what you agree between you and mama. All right, so that's on starting on a clean slate. Let's get the expectations right, let's reconcile, let's make sure that we either have a rewarding system for mama or a split ownership agreement whereby the profits are split accordingly. Now, the other option is you could choose to move on and reinvest in this particular new business that you're saying that is going to be in the trading space. But what I beseech you to do is do not burn bridges. I'll still mention this. You sound like you're still bitter. You sound like you still, you harbor a lot of resentment towards mama. But I'll tell you, do not burn bridges. This is your mother. So honor her place in your life and also in your business. As much as she's been selling off these birds or eggs without your consent, just know that she is your mother. So reconciliation is key. The other thing is you've chosen to move on. All right, this is pointer number 2. 2 options that you have this morning. Now you've chosen to move on, so you could either, you are talking about restocking these birds, all right, such that by the end of the year you have profits, and then you use this profits, you top up, and then you use it to start this other trading business. So what I'll tell you is, as much as you're going to restock and as much as by December this year you're going to, of course, realize some profits, how about you split this profits somewhat? You just decide and give some of this to mama as a thank you, a sign of just saying thank you, a sign of gratitude. It's very important. All right, then after splitting the profits, you're the one to agree how you're going to go about that. After splitting the profits, now you top up and start off this particular new business that you're saying is in the trading space. The other option is, instead of splitting and moving or just bringing down this infrastructure of birds, or maybe selling off everything, maybe mama has so far developed a passion in rearing birds and the poultry space, so you could let her continue with the business if she so wishes to. All right, so once you're having these candid conversations with her, just ask her, okay, fine mama, I'm thinking of this option, but if you want to continue with this business, well and good, such that you let her run the business but she becomes the sole owner of it. And of course, now that I'm telling you that over and above your restocking and by December you realizing your profits, just split that and give mama something. Maybe that will help her boost that particular business, boost it, and she can continue and still realize her profits. All right, the other option is you top up and reinvest. All right, so this is in the moving on and reinvesting option, of course with the caveat of telling you that you should not burn bridges with your mother. Okay, now the last option is you need to know and understand how to run a profitable trading business. You've told me that you understand the business. I don't know, you've not gotten into the details of telling me how you went about understanding this particular business. Is it because you've seen your friends, earning a lot of money or profits in the same business? How far do you understand that? But just in case you get stuck, remember the keys of starting a new business. You need to have an understanding of it, but over and above that, you need to have passion. You need to have, the right support system around you, and these are mentors. So make sure all that is in check. But in terms of you running it profitably, we have tackled that particular topic right here on the show. So what you do, head on to our YouTube pages, NTV Uganda, Morning at NTV, of course, with business updates, and you'll find that there. We have tackled matters to do with running a profitable business, matters to do with expanding your sales funnel, matters to do with how to run a successful retail business. All right, so all that information is on YouTube, so be sure to head there so you can get to run a successful trading business. I wish you all the best, Denima Swafula. All right. You are in a tricky space because now emotions have been, emotions are involved as well in this particular wrangle, but I wish you nothing but the best. But what I'll tell you today, do not burn bridges with your mother. Make sure that you reconcile. So you have the options. The decision is for you to make. All right. I wish you nothing but the best. So for you, the business person who is grappling with different challenges in your business, what you do, make use of that number that is on your screen, 0750-933-088. Okay. So what you do is send me a voice note or a video recording of you telling me what exactly that particular specific challenge that you're facing. Try as much as possible to be detailed, and right here every Wednesday and Thursday I'll get to give you solutions to the same. All right, so tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. But Wafula, I'm keen on this one, so feel free to keep me in tabs with how you progress and the decision that you make, and how you get to reconcile with your mother as well. Okay, so that's it for business update this particular morning. I'll be taking this particular short bumper, and I'll be back with the crew to wrap this up.
Raise the praise. Get inspiration. Rise up every morning with a song of praise to the Lord.